Hi, arichipo.com, and today I'm going to try to answer a question I receive very often, or in comments on my videos, or via private messages. So the question is simple: what camera could I buy if I am a content creator? Well, honestly, I cannot recommend one camera, but what I'm going to do is to speak about 9 cameras, different brands. For me, people who ask me very often have a limited budget, so I'm going to try to check not the cheapest one, or maybe the second cheapest one in each brand. So I'm going to tell you all about it. So let's start. Obviously, this is only my opinion based on my experience and trying to answer what people ask me. I'm sure some people will have a different opinion because they have different criteria. They look for something different than I do in a camera, and they make different decisions. So I'm going to try to get to give you an answer based on my experience, more or less. Okay. So first, many people who ask this, they want to do also video and self videos for YouTube or social networks. So it's important that the monitor is, you can turn it flip towards you, you can look at yourself while recording. So that's one criteria, the camera must have that. Second, video 4K. I know there is many people that publish in 1080p, that's fine. But in 2025, people who are going to buy that kind of camera, most of them want 4K, so it needs to have 4K to be in this list. Second, it needs to have microphone connectors. Yeah, you can record directly to a camera, but when you want to better bit the quality of your sound, you will have to use an external microphone most of the time, whether it's a lavalier or wireless or whatever microphone you want to use, or a shotgun microphone, but you need a connector for that. Then on HDMI port, doesn't matter if it's micro HDMI, mini HDMI or full HDMI, checking prices starting at the not too high point. Obviously most of them have mini or micro HDMI, but it's important because maybe you want to have an external monitor, or soon you will want to use a recorder or whatever, so HDMI is needed. And the idea of use is basically 70% video and 30% photography. Obviously you can do it the other way around, but it's important that I answer to these people who want to travel, record video and complement with some pictures, or they want to do maybe a food channel and they want to have some picture but mainly videos or this. So my thought is 70% video and 30% pictures. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to tell you 9 cameras with my opinion. Oh, I forgot. Important. The camera must have, you can change lenses, it's important. The one I'm going to give you with the price I indicate have a kit lens, okay? But it's important that you can change lenses. Many people, when they start, they don't know what lens to buy, so this is why I speak about kits. But obviously you could buy the body only and then place the lens you want later, okay? Or at the start, okay? So, but the price I'm going to give you is based on that. The prices may vary, depends on the country where you are, but I cannot check every country. So I check prices at Digit Photo in France to have at least a difference between each camera, okay? So it's just an indication. And second, important, I don't know where you are in the world. In some countries, some cameras I've listed here are not available. For example, in Latin America, you cannot find some Lumix. It's not every country has Fujifilm or don't have OM system. So, well, you have to check in this case Canon, Nikon, Sony, something like this. Okay, but this is the idea. I try to give the information for everyone in the world, but depending on your situation, it may vary for you. Okay, and before I start, don't forget, I've got affiliated links. And now first, I've activated the member area of my YouTube channel. There I don't speak about gear, I just speak about tuition, photography tips, advice, all this. So there's a join button just below so you can access exclusive video just for members. I also leave you affiliate links in the description. Thank you so much for using them. Don't forget that if you buy from Luminar, Neo or Aperty, the app they have for retouching skin and portrait, all this, you get a 10% discount with my code ERIC10. 10% discount on top of any other offer they have. So it's extra discount for you. You save a lot more money. So thank you so much for using it. That really helps me. Now, yes, let's start with this list. Well, let's start with Fujifilm X-M5 with the 15-45mm, cost 999 euros. Positive point, 6K open gate, so you can actually record once and then you use it vertical, horizontal for reels, stories, things. That's great, and also for standard video, so that's great. You have a film simulation, you have log for video, you have 3 microphones that's integrated, so obviously you have a connector too, okay? But you have 3 microphones if you want front, back, or surround. That's great. And I would say the video features are advanced, so that's a good point. Negative point, no viewfinder, which is probably not a problem for that kind of content creation, and no IBIS. You have an electronic stabilization that will crop a bit. Okay, so I think this is a great camera, but still I have to tell the positive and the negative. Second option, Fujifilm X-S20 with the 15-45mm, cost 1,399 euros, so it's about 400 euros more expensive. It has everything the X-M5 offers, except the wheels are a bit different, okay? And no 3 microphone. Obviously, you have a microphone, but you have not this surround system, okay? But you do have a connector, obviously. But it has a viewfinder and also IBIS. So for people who want the Fujifilm and they want a viewfinder and IBIS, that's a good option. Let's go to Nikon. The Z50 Mark II, all 3 I've presented on my channel, by the way, okay? So the Z50 Mark II with a 16-50mm, the cost is 1,149 euros. Positive, it has a viewfinder for people who like it, no IBIS. And for me, the most negative point is that Nikon has a really lousy range of lenses for APS-C. It means you will need to have to go for third party like Sigma, Tamron, Viltrox, T Artisan, 7 Artisans. That's not a problem for me, but many people who are not sure about photography, videography, and they're starting, they prefer to have a lens that is from the same brand. And the range of lenses Nikon offers in APS-C is really limited. So that would be the negative point. The camera is still good, okay? Now let's go for Canon. Honestly, I would not put any Canon in this list, but I have to put one. Why? Because I think the philosophy of Canon is not for content creators in their entry-level range, okay? It can do it, so, but still, I don't see this philosophy. So I would recommend the R50. Well, I speak about the Canon R50 with the 18-45mm, and it costs 1,069 euros. Negative points, no, you don't have audio connector, so it means if you want to control the sound while you record or after recording, you cannot do it. You cannot have a headphone. That's a problem for me. No IBIS, same as the one before except the XS20. And same thing as Nikon, the amount of optics is really limited. But still, maybe you're in a country where Canon is the easiest camera for you to get, so then yes, in that case, for content creator, I would check the R50 within this budget, okay? Let's speak about Sony. Well, Sony, I've got 2 Sony cameras there. One is not new, is the Alpha 6400. I think it's a great little camera. I like it. The kit costs 1,179 euros with the 18-135. I wish I found the price with the 18-55 to be able to compare better, but I didn't find it, so that's the price. Positive point, advanced video feature that are good. Negative, the IBIS. No IBIS, okay? So some people will say, why not the 6700? I think the 6700 is much better camera, but that is the top of the range in this 6000 series. So it would not be fair compared to others if I would speak about the 6700, and it's more money, but not much more than XS20 anyway, okay? But yeah, that would be the second option that I think that would be more logical. But still, if we look at Sony, the 6400. Then second Sony I was speaking about is the ZV-E10 Mark II with the 18 to 50 millimeter that costs 1,195. Sony presented as the vlogging camera in APS-C format. All these cameras I've mentioned so far are APS-C format, okay? And the negative point is no IBIS. Also negative, I think, is really thought for video, not much for photography. If you want Sony, you want to do some photography more than video, although the base, I said 70% video, I would go for the 6400 more than the ZV-E10, okay? Now let's speak about two Micro Four Third camera, the OM System OM5 that cost 1,499 euros with a 12 to 45 millimeter. Well, this camera is a great little camera, but it was obsolete when it came out in some point. For example, it doesn't have a USB-C, it has micro USB. It means you cannot connect a power bank, you cannot connect power bank while you use it, so that limits, okay? The price is, in this list, is high price, okay? And second, the good point, the best point of this camera, the IBIS. The IBIS is the best stabilization you will ever see in any camera, okay? So that's a great point. Let's look at Lumix, also a Micro Four Third camera, the G97 that just came out with the 12 to 60 millimeter, cost only 949 euros. I think the price is brilliant. Positive point, it has also a very good IBIS. Bad point, I didn't have the camera yet in my hand, but I checked the specs and I cannot find a sound output to check the sound. So maybe there is, but I didn't see it, the headphone, okay? So yeah, check. Negative point, 4K has limited time. I don't understand why, because the limited time for 4K used to be for tax reason in Europe. So they apply it for all the world. They would limit, otherwise it would be more expensive as an import tax. But this has been waived a long time ago, 3 years ago maybe already. So it's no sense to limit the time. I think this is just a revamped G90, okay? A few new things and that's it. And yes, for people who make short video, that's no problem. But someone like me that maybe record 40 minutes without stopping, that's a problem, okay? If you do 10 minutes, 5 minutes, that's okay. You just stop and start and that's it, okay? So these two were Micro Four Third. And now we finish with the only full frame of the list. Why? Because, yeah, there are other full frame. I could have spoken about the Sony, about Canon, all this, but this camera was presented as the content creator camera, the Lumix S9, with a 20 to 60 millimeter that costs 1,848 euros. Well, positive point. I'm going to speak a bit about the S9 because many people think this is the only option. Okay, so as you've seen, there are many other options. So I'm going to tell you the positive and negative points. The video features are really advanced. This is great. The IBIS, yeah, is the best IBIS for full frame cameras. So really good. It supports anamorphic lenses. It makes a disc-squeeze in camera, so you can preview on your screen, properly compose, properly disc-squeeze what you're recording. So that's a great point. It also does a 6K open gate, same as the two Fujifilm. So this is great for content creators that do vertical and horizontal from one take. I think this is great. Now let's speak about another positive point. It has 36 LUTs you can configure in there. But beware, many people think that this camera competes with Fujifilm because Fujifilm has film simulation. Really doesn't have to do with Fujifilm. Fujifilm also can have LUTs, okay? And LUTs is not something invented by Lumix. LUTs is something that many video camera have, well, camera you use as video, Sony also, things like this. What is really new with this camera, with this Lumix, is that you can actually update them from your smartphone app, and that's good, okay? That's a great point. And you can also bake the LUT directly in your video, same as you can bake directly your Fujifilm simulation in your video, okay? So for people, that's attractive. But the problem is the negative points. No sound output, so that's a problem. If you want to spend that money, we'll say after the price, you want to be able to check the sound, how it goes. There is no mechanical shutter. That means that you have rolling shutter when you make a photography and you're actually moving yourself or your subject is moving, it will change the shape. So that may be a big problem depending on how you use and what you use the camera for. There is no flash hot shoe, so you cannot place your flash in there if you want to make photography. But also, if you want to do video and you wanted to use the XLR module Lumix has, you actually place it in the hot shoe and it connects and can manage several microphones, you cannot do it. So for me, that's a serious problem. And also a problem is the price. I think it's far too expensive for what it offers. If this camera would cost like 1200 euros, that would be fine. Would accept this sacrifice, okay? But many people think that just because it's full frame is going to be better, and that's not true. That's not the way it works. So I think this price is far too high for a camera that is too limited. I think it's a great camera for B-roll, where you're not going to check sound. Maybe you leave it on the tripod there and that's it. And or you want to do handheld like Kamaki, who actually does handheld with anamorphic lens. That's great for that. But as a one and only camera, I think it's too limited for that price. Okay, I think it's too expensive. Actually, if you like the video feature of the S9, and for you the size is not the most important part, then it's better to get the Lumix S5 Mark II with offers I have right now, promo of this. It's a really similar price and it has everything that the S9 is actually lacking. So except if you want this small phone format, it's nonsense to buy the S9 at that price point. Otherwise, yes, if you want small and you want this, there's no other option in this full frame and this size and this anamorphic features, all this, okay? Otherwise, no point. I would get the S5 Mark II, but then it's out of the idea of a small camera, okay? So, my top 3 cameras. First, I would place a Fujifilm X-M5. Why? Because the price is incredible. At least in this version. Next version Mark II will be maybe a lot more expensive, but this one for X-M5 offers so much for that price that it makes me forget the lack of IBIS and the lack of viewfinder. Anyway, if I do 70% video, I don't need the viewfinder mainly, or if I self-record myself, okay? But honestly, I think this is the best, the one that offers most. And also there are accessories like small rig that you can actually place a cage on it and you can build something around this camera. Obviously then it's not as small, but even if you put many accessories, it's still a small package. So I think for people who want to start with something affordable and then buy maybe an external monitor or external microphone, things like this, they can go buy that, mount it on a cage, and then later get another camera from Fujifilm more advanced, and they still can use these accessories or keep this one as a secondary camera. I think it's a great option. Then for the second and third, but it depends. I would say the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II or the Nikon Z50 Mark II. Depends where you are, depends on what you want. If you're more about photography, I would say the Z50 Mark II. If you're more about video, I would say the ZV-E10 by Sony. Yes, there's option of the 6400, but don't forget, I forgot to say that the 6400 has a monitor that lifts up. It means that flips up. It means that if you have a microphone in the hot shoe, you will not see the screen. So you need to have an accessory to have the microphone on the side. So that makes it a bit more negative. So yeah, I would say these 3. And then if you want to spend a bit more, I would say the XS20 because by Fujifilm, because it has IBIS. And also you have a viewfinder, so it's like a complete package, okay? But obviously you may differ in your opinion, and I will be really happy to read what you think and what you recommend depending on your taste and your experience. So I think this video may answer the question I receive so often by so many people, so I hope that helps. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, the small button down here and so small bell. If you click on the bell, you will get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also, remind you, I've activated the member area of my YouTube channel. There, I don't speak about gear, I just speak about photo, tuition, tips, all this, so you can better your photography knowledge. There's a join button just below, so you can access exclusive video just for members. Also, leave you affiliated links in description. Please use them, that really helps me. Don't forget that if you buy from Luminar, Neo or Aperty, the app they have for face retouching, portrait, skin, all this, you get a 10% discount with my code ERIC10. 10% on top of any offer they have, so you do save a lot of money. Use it, that helps you and that helps me. Thank you so much. Also leave you my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.